Okay, I've got a slightly different method of painting our background today than sometimes. I'm going to take some blue, some sap green, some little tiny bit of black, burnt umber, whatever you want to do is okay. A little bit of white because I don't want it too dark. Don't want it too dark. A little umber just to soften the color. I don't want it too vibrant either. Let's try it. A little more blue. Blue helps it to reseed into the background. Okay, if we don't like the color, we'll always, we can change it, whatever. Okay, well, it's not a perfect color, but I'm going to, rather than, stop immediately, I'll put some of that non-perfect color up there. And then what I'll do is I'll change it just slightly. Oh, I can see where we're going already. Look at this. Pretty. I'll put more blue in it. And I'm just almost making like a beautiful mosaic pattern or something like that. Just pretty. Got some color. These areas where I'm going to do my bamboo, or my close-up bamboo, I want to leave those kind of blank right now. Because I'm going to do the lighting is kind of coming through like so. And I think I got an idea. I want it to be real bright. So anyway, that clear gel is helping out a lot. Without the clear gel, you'd be here scrubbing, like wearing down your brush. Yeah. A little darker back here. Kind of creating some beautiful shadow type things. Okay, we're going to now paint the bright stuff around. So I'm going to take just some yellow, Hansa yellow, white, little teeny bit of our green, sap green. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to throw some color up here, and the way that you'll know where to put it is basically go around what you already painted. And I'm just going to throw it in. Fast, actually. This is supposed to look backlit. This is supposed to look a little wild, crazy, and I think that is so much fun. I think it's so much fun. There we go. Some of this will begin to mix, and that's okay. I don't want it all one flat, dead color anyways. I'm going to mix it myself. I'm going to begin to put some sap green as I wander back here. Whoa! I threw a big old blob of paint and landed right on my shop towels. It's a good day when your mess lands on the paper towel roll. I wish that happened every day. All right, let's go ahead and get some. Ooh, be careful not to make a mistake. Okay, up in here. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, and then over here. I don't want over here to be quite as bright as that. This is going to be a little brighter. Yeah, very, very careful not to make a mistake. Over here, I'm going to take. And you see how it's closing in? I like that. I like that a lot. Now don't go over your bamboo too much. Just a teeny bit is okay, but not too much because why did you paint it if you're just going to cover it? Yeah, we've all been there, done that. And I don't know about you, I don't like it. I don't like to cover stuff that I've already done too much. Sometimes it's inevitable, but not usually. Usually you can plan ahead and do things pretty smart. Okay, now we're going to continue to paint our, underpainting our foreground. I'm taking some burnt umber, yellow ochre, a little bit of green, just scooping them up right on the brush. Isn't that neat? Maybe a little Hansa yellow as well. Now that yellow is going to be pretty. That's going to be the sunlight illuminating through the shallow water, illuminating our beautiful sand underneath the water. I think that'll be so pretty. Also going to do some green because there's green reflected in and around. That's awesome. Okay, wonderful. There's some red, some blue, some white, just to create, I don't know, some color. Just some color, sprinkling color in and around. It doesn't have to be precise or perfect. There's some black, burnt umber and black, because what I'm doing is I'm creating those waterfall-y things. Yes, that's exactly what they are, waterfall-y things. Again, this is going on easy, easier than normal. If you've ever painted with me before, you're like, why is your paint good? It's because the clear gel. But it's definitely a two-edged sword because it can cause muddiness, which is why you use it in the sky. You want that. You want the blending in the sky. Well, I feel like for this, it's a slightly different kind of a painting. I feel like it helps me. I feel like it helps me more than it hinders. And I can always wipe off the canvas. You know what I mean? Time to do some of the details, such as that little bridge in the background. I'm taking some of my muddy rock color and some of my white, mixing them together. Let's just see what that does for me. I'm going to, oh, you know what, I've got this recently. I've been starting to use this stick, Marion Dutton. It's just an old stick. You know, you can, I'm sure, pay a lot of money for them. And right up here, I'm going to just begin to paint a little arch. Okay. This is super, super straightforward. I'm not trying to make anything wild today, or more difficult than it needs to be. Almost looks like I got a little bit of a highlight on that one side. Okay, does that look like a little bridge back there? Kind of. Shoot, I really don't think we want to go too crazy with this. I am going to, am my stick blocking your view? A little bit, let me move it. Going to just add in a little more white because I want to, and just a little white, as I want to bring out a little bit of a top to the bridge. Hey, is it perfect? No. But it looks a little bit like a bridge to me. It looks just a little bit like a bridge. Just really light indication of that second rail back there. Yeah. Man, I see it in person. I look down at my monitor. I don't know if it shows that well in the monitor, but I see it in person. Now I'm going to take a 3/4 brush, and I'm actually going to pick up some of my Hansa yellow, a little bit of our yellow ochre, some blue, burnt umber, okay, and some of my black as well. Black and yellow do make a beautiful green, and I still haven't stopped to clean my palette yet. I don't need to quite yet. I will probably before the next step if I remember, unless I get sidetracked doing a whole bunch of this. I'm just looking for a color that's got a little more blue in it. Okay, there it is. You'll notice that color's not super dark. I might lighten it up just a little mud there. Not super dark. You could double load your brush if you want to. Well, let's double load our brush. Why not? I talked about it, now all of a sudden I want to do it. So I've got one side through the dark, and the other side I'm going to pull through some white to lighten it up, and a little yellow as well. White and yellow through one side. You can wiggle your brush like so. It kind of helps to mix the paint, and then a little bit through the dark. So you got light and dark. The hardest part about this technique is remembering which side to put the paint in, not messing that up. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start at the top with light pressure. I'm going to come down, and these need to be pretty straight. It's a bamboo. You know what? That looks like bamboo. We did something right. It's okay to have an overall arc to them. That's a good thing, especially toward the light. But you do not want S-bends. This is not a tree. This is not a tree. Do not do that. Kind of pretty. Our light's coming through the painting. Now it is coming through the middle, but it's not like sunset. So there is going to be other light coming through this way and this way, but we're going to have like a big shaft of light, and this is going to be mainly in shadow. That one right there is probably about as bright as we want to go on that side. However, on this side, I can go, ooh, there it is, somewhat brighter. I'm going to make that one slightly wider. Boom. And again, fairly straight. Fairly straight. Leaning is okay, but fairly straight. You pick up some of that brown. I like this. You know, we're going, I think, in the right direction. Boom. Ooh, I might have just screwed that up. Well, let me reset that brush. See, that's how easy it is to mess that up. It is so easy to when you're double loading, to forget and go the wrong direction. At least that happens to me a lot. Let's try that. Oops, that's a little too wild, so I'll come back over and sort of mellow it down. Good. A little slower, but you're actually going to make up all that time because you don't have to highlight as much. All right, now we're going to paint some water. This is going to be actually pretty cool part of the painting, I think. We're going to take some white and a little bit of blue, not much, just a little blue. I have to make it, it's not white. There we go. A little more blue than that, actually, just a little more. I don't think we want it to be too white, because that'll look just white when I put it up there anyways. Even with that blue, and it'll probably still look white when I put it up here. All right, so right about here, really. Yeah, I could actually go more blue. You can always highlight with white, but I don't think I'm gonna go white too quick. But yeah, let's just go, boom. Ooh, it's mixing a lot. Do we care? No, we don't care. We don't care. But you see, I'm just using these little touches of color just to indicate, oh, there's a lot of stuff happening. I will use vegetation and stuff to kind of push that back, but let's not worry too much yet. There we go. When do we ever worry about it? There we go. I'm going to run that color in and around. Let me see that stand back, see if that's what we want. I think it is. I'm going to go a little more red with my blue, just for fun. And a little tiny bit of clear gel. Why not? Not much, just a tiniest little bit left over on my palette, sitting there looking at it thinking, we ought to add it. Not much, just a little. And then as I run through here, let's go ahead, there we go. Okay, a little more red, white. Now, let's see, maybe right in here, I've got just a little, like a boom, a little crash. Now I can refine this and make it look better, but I'm just trying to get in some of these larger areas of highlight and color before changing to a smaller brush. All right, now I'm about to do rocks, but before I do, I'm gonna take some of my waterfall color, my watercolor, and right back here, I'm gonna use my stick. Right back here, how cool would it be if we saw just a little boop, boop. Well, I want it to be straight. There it is. That's neat. And then just a little boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? Just to show, oh, there's a tiny waterfall back there. Now, and this stuff is really subtle. I'm just taking a brush, random brush, just to push it back, you know? So, does that read like a little bit of a waterfall back there? It does. Just a little. Yeah, this is gonna be good. One more. Yeah. That looks great. It looks like the water's cascading back there. And then it disappears back here and then it comes back. I like that. Is anybody else gonna notice it? Maybe not. I know it's there, I like it. There you go. And that gives you a reason to have a little bridge sort of crossing over some of those falls. I think that's interesting. Actually, wouldn't they build the bridge over the falls? Let's do one more. You know? There we go. So it's like a big old, yeah, it's like crossing over a lot. And then there's jungle around. I don't know. I like it. Let's go ahead and do something else. Let's do rocks. So for the rocks, I'm going to take some burnt umber. I'm going to take some white, blue. That's blue and white right there. Some yellow ochre. I still have not reset my palette. I said I was going to do that a while back. Take some red. Now, I want to go ahead and begin to, with my lighting in mind, pop out 1 or 2 or 50 little stones. Each one needs to be a slightly different color, so every time you reload, I want you to just change that color slightly. That will make your painting so much better. And I wiped this off with a shop towel earlier, and you'll notice, come on now, you'll notice that I don't have a whole lot of resistance. This is going on pretty easy. If you're up here and it's like acting like my waterfall was, I should have wiped that off. It came out okay, but it's kind of dangerous. If it's acting like my waterfall wanted to do and just become all muddy, then what you need to do is wipe it off, like I didn't do. So now we're going to, not that we don't, we could keep going down here, but we're gonna take a break. I like to sometimes bounce around. And so I wanna go ahead and paint some rings on my bamboo. So for that, I'm just gonna pick up there's some blue, white, and a little bit of brown. course, blue and brown do create green. I want more brown than that. All right, let's try that. It's kind of a shadowy brown. Shadowy brown. I don't know. If I don't like it, we'll do something else. Here we go. And you could put a little bit of clear gel in there. You could put a little bit of walnut oil if you need to. You're more than welcome to do that. Okay, where's my stick? The most important one is this one right here. Okay. So I've got my brush kind of pulled to a point. Now, I'm just going to show you. You'll understand as I go. I want them, see my rings have to be smileys down here, neutral in the middle, and then sad faces up at the top. And the reason that, I'm going to go a little darker. And the reason that that is because of perspective. It's just like anything else. So my smiley faces get more and more neutral until about there, and about at eye level, we begin to change. And see how my rings begin to get more sad-faced. Neutral, smiley face, sad face. Hope that makes sense. It's about as easy of a way as I can describe it. Put some black and yellow in my burnt umber mix there. And the importance of that again is just, it's like birch trees, like you gotta have the perspective right. Because you're painting a cylinder. And we want that perspective correct. Now, before we completely quit with the bamboo, let's go ahead and just take some of this black and green, or green made from black and Hansa, maybe a little blue, doesn't matter. Dark, real dark, but not totally black. And I'm going to, at least in the shadowy ones, I want to put in branches. Now, the branches on bamboo are very interesting. They go just like this. They're little arms that stick out from the bamboo. And don't do anything else. Just do that. I know it feels weird, but do that. I'm not going to do a ton of them, but we'll do a few because they're pretty high up, and then it starts laying out the branches. You're not going to see branches down toward the bottom of the bamboo. So mostly up here at the top, and I'm not going to go just wild with it. Yeah, there we go. Get that bamboo branch in there, and then just a few here. Just like so. And it just adds a little bit of feature and interest, detail to the background. Yeah, okay, that'll be fine. Now, you know what, I don't think I want those connecting. I'm just gonna delete those. So I think that one there is too tall to really see much of it. So we'll just sort of mush those into the background. Isn't that cool? Oil paint's forgiving, isn't it? We're going to do more leaves and stuff here anyway, so not a concern. Okay, I'm happy with that. That's pretty straightforward. Let me go ahead and paint in my little highlights here, very, very briefly. Some highlights. So I'm going to take just my white and my yellow ochre and my Hansa yellow. White, yellow, ochre, Hansa yellow. Obviously there's mud involved in that and a little bit of green, but it's mostly the yellow, or green, blue to make green. Blue to make green. Let's see what that looks like. If it looks good, we'll keep going with it. If it doesn't, we'll change. I'm going to use my stick only because I want to be pretty accurate here with this one. I don't necessarily want perfect light on these. I want it to be a little bit choppy, a little bit broken. Yeah, bamboo is smooth, no doubt about that. But it's got those little rings and stuff. I don't know, I just don't need it perfect. See, that little broken light is good. The light's being broken by the tree canopy and stuff as well. Okay. Ooh, I think that's pretty. Just a little boom. You know what I mean? Yeah, just a little boom. Bright light. All right, I love how that turned out on this one on the right side. I'm going to do the same on the left side. I'm going to darken my color just a little using some of the leftovers and some of the mud here. If you don't have it, just some sap green, white, yellow, and yellow. You'll get there. little brown because the mud. Okay, right up in here, I'm just going to do the same thing I did, which is slide down. Now there's no light on this side per se. It's a lot less. Okay, then I'm gonna clean the, well, no, before I do, let me get back up in here. So it's kind of hard, but the stick does make it easier. Makes it a lot easier. Yeah, the stick is definitely good. Even with the stick, I made it kind of crooked there. I'm gonna come back. And I do know this is called a maul stick. I should probably refer to it the proper name. There we go. Just taking that and feathering it in. This is actually the part I've been looking forward to probably the most, which is creating a whole bunch of leaves and vegetation. I'm gonna take some Hansa yellow, yellow ochre, blue, and white. Almost out of white, still out of sap green and have been for a while. That's funny. Now I've got just a little bit of walnut oil. I am going to go ahead and, ooh, I'm not gonna set that on the palette, but there it is. I'm gonna dip into that just to begin to loosen up that paint just slightly, not much, just 10%, 15% looser. Okay, here we go. And I'm just gonna begin to create kind of some vegetation. Of course, very small. That's probably almost too big there. Let's keep the bigger vegetation for the foreground. There we go. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Vegetation. It's pretty. There. Okay, and all I'm doing, as far as technique goes, is just what's called scumbling, or just sort of just doing this. Just doing comma strokes to create a lot of random patterns in there. Random patterns is what we're looking for. So comma strokes, random patterns, X's, overlapping strokes, whatever you'd like to call it. What it amounts to is creating just variation that could be interpreted as leaves, but you're not necessarily painting individual leaves. That's not my goal at all. Now, the slower you go, the smaller they will be. And the bigger you want them, the faster you're going to paint them. Does that make sense? That is just about universally true with this sort of stuff. If you want it smaller, you're going to have to slow down. And if you want it faster, you're just about going to have to speed up. Ooh, that's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty. Because see, there's a lot of light coming through here. You know, I know I'm nearly there as far as time goes, but man, I want some light. I want some detail, some action right there. Let me stand back and see if that's what I like. Yeah, that is very, very nice. All right, let's do the same to the other side. Same to the other side, just some burnt umber, some white. Ooh, that's pretty. Some red, yellow ochre, and mud. Obviously, there's mud in everything at this point. And just tiniest bit of walnut oil. Just tiniest bit of walnut oil. And I'm going to place in a few dead leaf clusters on the ground there. Not too many. And honestly, it's too light. It's too light. Let's go darker with it. Just real quick. Paint in a few. All I'm doing is my comma strokes kind of sideways, you know, more or less sideways. It's really not that big of a deal. You just create, we've done this in other paintings, but it's the same idea, you know, like as an autumn painting, for instance, with little leaves on the ground. But here I'm just using less of an autumn color, more of just like a dead bamboo leaf on the floor color. That's what it is. The only, my really only thing that I would, personal, you know, interaction I've had is like at the zoo. You know, you go to zoos and you see all the bamboo groves are so pretty. I think like the Nashville Zoo has one, and you see all this underneath the bamboo, which is really cool. I like bamboo. I think it's super, super pretty. Now I'm going to take a fan brush. I've actually spent a moment cleaning my palette, putting out some paint, get some white, some Hansa yellow, and green, sap green. Just this is kind of our last unfinished area, isn't it? I'm just going to take and pull a few wispy little bamboo leaves. I was thinking about doing this all along here with the with the detail round brush was the plan. But you know what? I think it's too far away. We've already, you know, we're kind of already transitioned away from the detail round brush by the time we got out this far. In this painting today, this varies, of course, based on what you're doing, but yeah, I'm just gonna feather that out. All right, well, that wraps things up for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out our Patreon, our paints and brushes and full-length lessons. Of course, the links are in the description down below. Thanks for watching. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Remember to subscribe if you're not already and click the like button. It helps me out a lot. Stick around, watch a couple more videos, and stay inspired.